All right, everybody. We are here for the start of season 4. We've had 3 great seasons of racing here at CSRL, and we're looking forward to our 4th season, which looks like it's going to be our biggest season yet. We've got a full field tonight. We got a lot of new faces tonight. A lot of returning guys that have been with us for a long time, but we've got some past drivers back with us, and we've got quite a few new faces. So it's a good mix tonight. We're not really sure about some of these guys. As you can see, Aiden Hasbrock is on the pole after qualifying. He qualified first, and we've seen him do that once before last season, but he was involved. He got hit from behind in turn 1 in that race, and we never got to fully see what he could do the rest of that race because he fell back and wasn't able to fully recover to get back to the front. So we've got Hasbrock starting off in front. Nick Hilson is with us. For those of you who watched last season, Nick showed up in the final race of last season and schooled everybody at Brands Hatch. He put on a hell of a show that night. And so he's back with us. And him and Hasbrock were battling it out during qualifying. Hasbrock ended up getting the top spot. Mike Bowen, personally, I know some of these guys know Mike Bowen. I don't know him personally. I've never actually raced with him before or been involved in a race that he was in, but he's obviously very fast to be up in the front of this group. Then we have 2-time champion John Snow in 4th. So John right up in the front where we expect him to be. Our other former champion, Mike Wojcik, is starting in 5th, right alongside John Snow. Behind that is Jesse Albert, Mike Doherty, Eric Alvarez, Kay Tillman, Chris Rise, Ken North. Alex Capellan is back with us after... those of you who have been with us all along remember him from Season 1. We haven't seen him since Season 1, so he's back with us. Evan Miller is here. Andrew Cooper in 14th. Scott Taylor in 15th. Joe Marsiglia in 16th. Laurel Waddle. You see Grimy Dog on the list there, but that's Laurel Waddle. He's in 17th. Louis Benora. Jamie Morrison. R. Marlowe, David Blythe, Brett Spigner. I don't know who A. Maggio is. I think it's Alessandro, but I don't know that for sure. So we're just going to call him A. Maggio. And Maxwell Cerna, and then Stefan Buckley. That is our order. We've got 25 cars on the grid tonight. And, of course, we're here at Suzuka. I guess I should have said that at the beginning. The first race of this season is going to be our Suzuka. This season is a little more of a who's who of track selection, a little more of the big name popular tracks this season, as well as 2 new tracks from the expansion that just came out. So we're going to have some pretty big, pretty famous tracks throughout the whole season pretty much. So it should be a great season, should be a lot of fun to watch, or if you're able to come and race with us, be a lot of fun to race. So we are running 29 laps tonight. Suzuka's a pretty long track, so 29 is all we're going to get. We do have a 20-minute pit window in the middle of a 60-minute race, so it's an hour-long race. So you got 20 minutes of racing, then the pit window opens, and it's open for 20 minutes. And then it closes, and we got 20 more minutes of racing. So we've seen guys stretch their pit strategies pretty far. We've seen guys pit early. We've seen every kind of strategy you can imagine, pretty much, in the last few seasons. But we do have a mandatory tire change, like we did last season, so that'll tighten up the field a little bit. In past seasons, we did not require tire or fuel, but now we do require a mandatory tire change. So that kind of tightens up the field, made last season very competitive for a lot of guys, and hopefully we'll see some great racing tonight and throughout the season. And we also have one thing I normally get to but I haven't gotten to is we have a ton of people in new cars, so we will just have to mention that as we go through the field throughout the race. So Hasbrock, I'm pretty sure he's in a different livery than he was in before, although I think he was in the McLaren before. We've only ever seen Hilson in the Bentley. Mike Bohm, he's new, we don't know. Jon Snow has a new livery, blue and white. Mike Wojcik has a McLaren and a new livery, but we're about to see the start of the race, so we'll worry about who's got what as we go through the race here. So 29 laps, 1 hour of racing, 25 cars on the track. Let's see how it goes. Just waiting for the green flag. See the guys trying to get it nice and tight up behind the leaders here. And there's the green flag. Okay, so they're off and racing. Coming down towards the first turn down this long stretch here. Everybody's pretty bunched up. Oh, and we got contact between Hasbrock and Hilson. That's going to let Mike Bowen slip up into first place. Hasbrock and Hilson somehow held on to it and got back on the track. Or I guess they never left the track, but kept the cars under control to stay in second and third. Behind them is Wojcik, Snow, and Jesse Albert coming into sixth right now. So that's the top six. Really close between these guys. Let's take a look back. There's Albert, followed closely by Alvarez. We got some side-by-side racing. We got Kay Tillman, who's side-by-side with Chris Rise. Chris Rise is going to get the better of that battle there. See somebody off the track back there. Not sure what happened there. All right, let's get back up to the front. So that's not the front. Where's the front? Oh, okay. Got a couple of cars off the track and our running order got messed up. Okay, so Mike Bowen is still in the lead. He's got some really fast drivers. Hilson's already gotten around Hasbrock, so Hasbrock's falling back to third. He's got Wojcik right on him, and then Jon Snow right behind him. See Jesse Albert keeping pace with Jon Snow. These guys all looking really fast right now. Whoa, somebody losing it back there. Just barely taps the wall. I think that's Kay Tillman. Yep, that was Tillman. That's going to give the position to Alex Capellan. You see Capellan in the BMW. You know, he used to drive a Porsche when he was with us before, so he's in the BMW now. You see Ken North in the Lamborghini behind Capellan, but I'm not sure who that is in between North and Capellan. Oh, it's Chris Rise. Okay, so Chris Rise is falling back behind Capellan. So Capellan moving up through the field. Mike Doherty holding strong in 8th right now. He's in a new car. He's in the Nissan GTR Godzilla. And he is representing all of us Nissan fanboys, as well as the Japanese car culture with that livery he's got. Pretty awesome livery. Hopefully we'll get some good looks at it throughout the season. So let's get back up to the front. So Mike Bowen's got his hands full right now. He's got Nick Hilson all over him. Hasbrock trying to keep pace with Hilson, stick with these guys. See a little bit of a gap to Wojcik and a little bit of a gap to Snow, so they're spreading out just a little bit in the front right now. Well, the thing is, the top 5 guys right now, have all won a lot of races with us, except Hasbrock, but we know he's fast enough to win. So everybody else in the top 5 has won quite a few. Well, I guess not Mike Bowen, because he's never raced with us, but Nick Hilson's won a lot on the weeknight races, the races that don't make YouTube. He's here for the practice races, which I'm not typically at. So he wins a lot in those races. He's extremely fast. You see Hilson made some kind of mistake there because he's fallen back to 4th place behind Wojcik and in front of John Snow. Let's go back and see what happened to him. He was riding up in 2nd, right on the leader. Let's see what happens here. Looking to the inside, but got a little bit of the bumper and loses the rear end of the car. Whoa, almost contact with Hasbrock there. Wojcik closes down on Hasbrock. Hilson lucky to hold on to it. Ends up right in front of John Snow. So we've seen, I think it was a mistake by Hasbrock that allowed Hilson to get in front of him in the first place. Now Hilson makes a mistake and allows a couple of guys to get by him. So really intense racing right now. You got to be really fast to be up in the front, and these guys are really, really moving. You see Mike, he's nice and steady. Bowen doing a good job just keeping the car between the lines. Let's see behind here, we got Jesse Alvarez falling back off of John Snow a little bit. Eric Alvarez is back off of Albert just a little bit, just about a second off. And then Mike Doherty's right behind Alvarez. We know Doherty and Capellan are both learning new cars. We don't know how much track time these guys really have in these new cars. I will say, for this season, the off-season was quieter than it's ever been in our league. Very little noise being made. I don't think a lot of guys ran a lot of laps. Seems like everybody took a nice long break from sim racing, which is to be expected. We've done a lot of racing in the last several months, so that's to be expected. But not sure how much track time any of these guys put in getting ready for this season. So we'll see how they do in these first couple races as they get back in the groove. You see Hasbrock has caught back up to Bowen. Bowen is not the fastest guy on the track right now. He hasn't been, I don't think, this whole race, but he hasn't made a mistake. The guys behind him have made mistakes and allowed him to stay in the lead. So we'll see what Hasbrock can do now that he's caught back up to the leader. You see Hilson, Pester, and Wojcik behind these guys. All over Wojcik back there. John Snow just behind those guys, kind of hanging back. He's got Albert behind him. Alright, let's take a look back through the field, just kind of look at what battles are going on. There are a lot of position battles going on. So there's this one here between Wojcik and Hilson. There's of course the battle for first up in the front. We're going to try not to miss anything if we can help it. We got Mike Doherty, who is all over. Correction, he just got past Eric Alvarez. Let's take a look at how that happened real quick. He was right on Alvarez. Coming down the front stretch, Doherty looks to the inside, able to get alongside coming into that sweeping right-hander, but Alvarez has the advantage. But Alvarez ends up a little wide, and Doherty just takes it by positioning, basically. So good clean racing by both of those guys not to get into each other there. So we see that battle between right behind them is Alex Capellan. Let's move on back. Let's see. Ken North, he is in 10th. Chris Rise behind him. We've got Andrew Cooper, who is being pestered by Evan Miller. Close battle between these guys going on right now. Okay, not quite as close as the timestamp said. All right, here's Maggio. We don't really know Maggio at all. He's a new driver. He's got Stefan Buckley behind him. And Buckley has made a ton of progress already. He's in 16th place. If I'm not mistaken, Buckley started dead last. I think he started in last place, so he's already moved up almost 10 spots. Not sure why he didn't qualify better, but he's he's racing his heart out now. So you see him getting on the inside of Maggio there. Well, it's a drag race into the next turn. Maggio's going to have the inside. Buckley holds it tight around the outside. Still side by side. Whoa, that's really close. It's going to give Buckley the advantage on the next turn, but Maggio is able to hold on and pull it out. Gets the position back. Good driving by both of those guys. Right behind this, you see David Blythe dealing with Louis Benora. These guys are in a close battle as well. Some really good racing going on throughout the field. You see Laurel Waddle being pestered by Kay Tillman, another driver that's new that we really don't know anything about. Don't know Tillman yet. We got Spigner in the Aston Martin. Behind him is Joe Marsiglia, who's back with us. Marlowe is another new guy. Maxwell Cerna and Jamie Morrison. And there's Jamie there. All right, let's get back to the front. Okay, so Hasbrock is actually in the lead now. So we missed something. Let's go back. We don't want to miss that. We might have missed it a while ago. Okay. So this is where we were. We got Bowen being really, really close to Hasbrock. Hasbrock looking to the inside. It's going to put him on the outside on the next turn, but he's able to keep pretty good speed through there, rolling around the outside. They're side by side coming through the slow speed area right here. Looks like Hasbrock's got the advantage. It's going to be a hard right-hander. Hasbrock's going to run wide, but he's going to take the spot. Bowen right on him. Good clean driving by both of these guys. That exchange allowed Wojcik, Hilson, and John Snow to catch back up a little bit, though. So the lead is not as far off as it was. So we've got 5 cars who have effectively separated themselves from the pack at this point. So now Hasbrock in the lead. We'll see what he can do. You know, he qualified on the pole, but qualifying speed and race speed are two different things. It's a little harder to be fast for a whole race than it is for one quick lap. So we've seen a lot of guys qualify first but not win the race. So can Hasbrock hold on to it? We know the guys behind him can. We saw Wojcik win a championship. He's currently in third. He won a championship with us. And we've seen John Snow, who's behind Hilson, win 2 championships with us. And then in between them is Nick Hilson, who, if I had to put my money on it, I'd probably put my money on Nick Hilson to win the whole race. He's one of the fastest guys I've ever seen in the ACC, but he's got his hands full right now. All these guys do, because they all they all met up with each other. So it's going to be fun for us to watch. Alright, while these guys continue to... You see Hilson, Pester, and Wojcik. He's all over Wojcik again. Mike Bowen falling back off of Hasbrock a little bit. Hasbrock trying to get some breathing room up there in the front. I mean, when I say falling back, he's literally a couple tenths of a second off of him, but he was a lot closer before. So Hasbrock trying to just get a little bit of breathing room so he can settle into his race now that he's back in the lead where he started. Still a lot going on behind these guys, but I don't want to miss too much action in the front. As it is, we already missed one lead change. But let's take a quick look back. Let's take a look at where the guys behind us are. There's Jesse Albert. He's kind of in no man's land. He is 4.4 seconds behind John Snow, but he's over 3 seconds ahead of Mike Doherty. So he's got some room to breathe. And we know Jesse can be really fast. He's just got to settle into his race and hope some of the guys up ahead of him can make a couple mistakes and let him get caught back up. Behind that is Doherty. He's dealing with Alex Capellan. Capellan, way back in Season 1, now that was a long time ago. ACC has changed a lot, and our league has changed a lot since then. But Capellan, back in Season 1, he led at some point led every race just about that he did with us. So he's really, really fast too. He got a lot of potential in a new car now in the BMW. So we'll see what he's able to do. Back behind this, trying to look for close battles. There's still a battle going on between Andrew Cooper and Evan Miller. These guys are still duking it out. You got Scott Taylor right behind Evan Miller there. Right behind that is Ken North, who's still racing close with Eric Alvarez. And then you've got Stefan Buckley. Buckley's kind of gotten past all those guys there. Now he's going to try to hunt down the front runners. He's currently in 15th place, but like I said, I'm pretty positive he started in dead last, so he's already gained 10 positions. You see Hasbrock pulling away a little bit. He's got the lead up to, I keep saying pulling away. He's literally 0.8 seconds. Boy, you see him get loose there. The back end on Hasbrock gets a little loose. Mike Bowen made up just a little bit of ground on him there. He was trying to get it up to a second lead for first, but that's going to hurt his chances right there. Meanwhile, Wojcik has really got his hands full with Nick Hilson behind these guys. Some really close racing going on between those two guys. That's Hilson, Wojcik, and John Snow. That's three really fast guys all duking it out for third place right there. So we're 5 laps into the race. That was a hectic 5 laps. We'll see where we go from here. Mike Bowen showing that Honda can be really fast. That's not a car that a lot of guys use. He's looking pretty quick in it though. You see the McLarens and the Bentleys up in the front, and then we got the one lone Honda. This guy pushing hard, looking to the outside, but unless he's looking for a crossover, there's not going to be much to find there. Hasbrock doesn't allow for that crossover. He gets right in the middle of the track and closes the door. Bowen just trying to see what he can open up. Hilson gets past Wojcik. We missed that. Let's go back and take a look at that, how he got past Mike. Man, I got to pay better attention on this and stuff. Okay, so there's Wojcik. He's been hounded by Hilson for a few laps now. Hilson looking to the inside down this long stretch here. And Wojcik smartly dives in behind him. That is a high-speed left-hand turn. You do not want to be side-by-side going through that turn. So smart move by Wojcik just to bail out of that one. Get in behind him and live to fight another day. So good job there. Hilson had the position. He got the speed. He's had the speed down the stretch against Wojcik pretty much ever since he got behind him. All right, let's take a look back. Mike Doherty is reeling in Jesse Albert. He's got it down to 1.3 seconds, and he's pulled away from Alex Capellan. So Capellan falling back off Doherty. We've seen Mike Doherty be really fast in every season that we've done so far. He was battling for the championship in seasons 1 and 2. Struggled a little bit last year with car choice. He chose a car that he drove the Audi last season. Whoa, you see Jesse off the track a little bit there. That's going to let Doherty get right up on him. Mike Doherty all over him now. Albert lost his momentum. Just trying to hold on now. See the back end getting loose on that BMW. But yeah, Mike, by the end of the season, had figured out the Audi. You know, he chose that car and then regretted it for the first half of last season. But in the second half of last season, he was right back to his old ways. He was up in the front every race and really looking good in that Audi, despite, I don't think, that car really being very a very good match for his driving style. It just wasn't what he is good with, I don't think. But Mike, being the driver that he is, was really strong the end of last season, and we were all interested to see what he would drive this season. Didn't expect the GTR. I don't think anybody expected that, but I'm happy to see it because the GTR is one of my favorite cars. So really cool seeing him drive that. You see Jesse Albert get loose again. Just a little loose on the rear end on that Beamer. That's going to let Doherty get right up on him once again. Let's take a look back at the front. Hasbrock still got Mike Bowen all over him. Hasbrock was pulling away at one point, but that seems to have failed, or not failed. It seems to have faded. Mike Bowen has got the battle for first right back going again. And these two guys have kind of pulled away from the guys behind him. You see Hilson there, Wojcik and Snow. So it's kind of 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. Oh, you see Hasbrock ends up in the grass for a minute there. That's going to cost him the lead of the race. Mike Bowen once again more consistent than the guys who get in front of him. Every time somebody gets in front of him, they give it back. So Bowen capitalizing on the mistakes of others so far, once again leading the race. Hasbrock not far behind him, though. He's able to recover pretty well. Hilson just out of reach, I would think, for very much slipstream. Hasbrock doesn't want to let Hilson get into the slipstream, because if he does, Hilson is going to reel him in. Hilson is really, really fast. Behind that, you see Wojcik and Snow have spaced out a little bit. So different drivers have different opinions in situations like this. Some guys, if they're in third and first and second are battling really hard, they'll kind of back off a little bit and let first and second just do their thing and hope that they make a mistake or take each other out or whatever. Other guys, when that's going on in front of them, will dive in head first and get into the action with the other two guys. You know, I've seen both work and I've seen both fail. It just depends on the situation, really. You see Wojcik, not sure, it's hard to tell from this angle. Looks like Hilson's probably just out of the range of a slipstream, though, from Hasbrock. And it looks like Hasbrock's probably just out of range for much slipstream from Bowen. These guys are starting to space out just a little bit. This track does have several high-speed areas where if you're within reach of the guy in front of you, you can start catching him on those long straights using the slipstream. Otherwise, you got to make up the time in these slow corners. There's a lot of slow sweeping corners on this half of the track, and some races are made or broken on this slow area, actually. Alright, so let's take a look back through the field once again. We got Jesse Albert still has Mike Doherty all over him. Albert runs wide, gets out in the sand. Back on the track, Doherty's going to look up the inside. Can't tell if, yeah, he's got enough to be alongside, but it's going to put him on the outside on the next turn. Doherty looks, no crossover there, so Albert's going to regain the position. We've seen Jesse struggling with that car a little bit. We know Jesse was in the Lexus before when he was with us. I think 2 different seasons he was in the Lexus. You see Mike looking to the inside again, but doesn't get alongside. So Doherty looking for a way around him. He's got more pace than Jesse does right now. Jesse's struggling with that car a little bit. Looks like the rear end's a little bit loose. And then you see Alex Capellan behind these guys just kind of cruising. Oh, you see Jesse put a tire in the grass there for a second. Okay, let's keep moving. So we got Chris Rise, who is kind of in no man's land. He's 4.1 seconds behind Capellan, and he's 11 seconds ahead of Andrew Cooper. So he's kind of all by himself running in the top 10. Andrew Cooper trying to hold on to that 10th place. He has had Evan Miller right on his heels for a lot of laps. Those guys have been going at it for a while. Behind him, you see where Ken North has given up the spot to Eric Alvarez. Alvarez was behind North a few laps ago, and these guys have both caught up to Evan Miller and Andrew Cooper. So Cooper doesn't quite seem to have the pace of the three guys behind him. He's going to have to get on his horse and really get going if he's going to hold on to 10th place, because these guys behind him are pretty fast. You see it's a pretty big gap behind this group. Let's see, Ken North is the back of this group. Then after that, it's Stefan Buckley. So Buckley's up to 14th now. He's our biggest mover for the night. He's started in dead last, and he's all the way up to 14th already. Behind him is Scott Taylor. Behind Scott is Kay Tillman. See, Tillman's got some damage on his car there. I think Tillman was the one that we saw spin off in the background earlier when we were watching somebody else. So he's got a little bit of damage on the front. Looking behind here, trying to see if there's any close battles. We got Joe Marsiglia. He's got some damage on that Ferrari. He is behind Marlowe, even though Marlowe is being shown behind him, so I guess that pass happened recently. There's Marlowe, and yeah, there's Joe Marsiglia, so those guys are spaced out. That's Laurel Waddle in the yellow Mercedes that just went by. Back behind this is Maggio. He's dealing with Jamie Morrison. Then you got Maxwell Cerna, Brett Spigner. So let's take a look back to the front. Bowen's still leading the race. Hilson has caught Hasbrock now. So Hilson's showing that speed that he has, that he's always shown as far as I'm aware. He is really, really fast in that Bentley. Bowen's still holding on to the lead. Hasbrock's got his own problems. He's got Hilson right on his tail. So we're going to see if Hilson can do anything with it. Meanwhile, the guys behind, Wojcik and Snow, have fallen back. Between Hilson and Wojcik is about 3 seconds, so about a 3-second gap, and then Wojcik has got Snow all over him. They're still in the same area code, but they're nowhere near within reach of the top 3 right now. They've got some work to do to catch back up. You see Hasbrock getting just a little bit of breathing room, trying to keep Hilson at bay and still make ground up on Mike Bowen. Pretty evenly spaced at the moment. Hasbrock doing a good job of holding his own. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to take an onboard lap with Mike Bowen. He's been leading pretty much the whole race, so he's coming down the front stretch, about to cross the start-finish line. And there it is, so that's the beginning of our lap. Coming down here, it's going to be a high-speed right-hander down into third gear, then down into second gear for another slower right-hander. This is the slow part of the track. This is so important to get this part of the track right. You see him leave it in third through there, then go down to second for the right-hander. Coming into the left-hander, really slow sweeping turn. Another right-hander, back into second gear. Tail end, trying to get a little loose on him there. Back up to third and over the hill, and that's the end of the slow section there, but that you can win and lose a race in that section of the track right there. It's a very, very complicated section of the track. It doesn't look that complicated, but when you're driving it, it really is. You have to get your placement of your car is so important. You got to stay on the apex of those sweeping turns or you lose a ton of time. So, see Bowen now coming. He's going to accelerate through this high-speed area to the right here. Going to be a high-speed right-hander right here, then a hard braking zone into a left-handed sweeper. And then another left-handed sweeper. And then back on the gas as he goes through one of the faster parts of the track. This part of the track right here is where Hilson was able to get the spot from Mike Wojcik. Wojcik smartly backed out of it. This is a high-speed left-hand turn right here, and it's a slick part of the track. It's a dangerous place to be side by side. And then you come down into the chicane here, all the way down to first gear. Nice and slow through there over the curbing. Final turn, as you accelerate through, you see some guys pitting there, and then here comes Bowen across the finish line again. So that is one lap on board around the track. Compliments of our leader, Mike Bowen. So he's holding on to the lead for now. He's got some lap traffic coming up. We saw some guys pitting. Now, pit strategies vary a lot between different guys. Some guys will pit hoping that they can gain more time with fresh tires. Other guys are in a good rhythm. They don't want to pit, so they stay out longer. We've seen some drivers like David Macedo. We've seen him always pit really late, but he's so fast on old tires that it really doesn't hurt his performance at all. In some races, I would say it actually helps him be faster, even though he's running longer on older tires. When he's in a rhythm, he just stays out there for a long time. And I want to congratulate David also. He got married this weekend. That's why he's not here. Him and Kyle Macedo are both at the wedding this weekend, so that's why they're not part of our season opener, but we're happy for those guys. That's much more important than sim racing, so congrats to David, and we'll be happy to see him back hopefully in the coming weeks. So you see Bowen pulling a little bit of a gap on Hasbrock now. Hasbrock's got Hilson all over him again. Hilson keeps reeling them in, but hasn't been able to get past him. You see Wojcik and Snow have fallen back even a little more. They're up to about 3.5 seconds behind now. We've seen John hold down that 5th spot the whole race. There's been a lot of position changes ahead of him, but we haven't seen him take anybody down yet. So John Snow kind of holding on to 5th. And he's always a threat. We know that because he's certainly won a lot of races with us, so you can never count any of these guys in the top 5. You can never count these guys out. So you see Hasbrock and Hilson still really close. Mike Bowen must have made a mistake or something, because these guys are right back up on him again. Maybe a little slow through that first braking zone. So it's 1, 2, 3 really close again. Hilson right on Hasbrock. He's really close to him. Let's take a look on board with Hilson. Take a look at what it looks like from 3rd place right now. You gotta be so fast just to keep up with these guys. Then trying to think about how to make a pass on top of all that is really... it takes a lot of skill. You see Hasbrock looking to try to get alongside Bowen, but Bowen gets a better exit out of the corner. He's going to hold on to the lead. Hasbrock all over him, though. Concentration that it takes to still be fast through the braking zones, but brake early, because when you're behind somebody, you've got to brake before they do. If they brake first, you're going to crash. So you always have to brake early. You see Mike Bowen end up in the grass right there. He's going to hold on to the lead for now. Ended up off the track for a moment. See Hilson's really fast through this slow section. It's just nice and steady through here. He's really catching up to these guys in the slower parts of the track. The problem is it's really, really difficult to pass in this part of the track. Hilson looking, trying to get up alongside Hasbrock. Almost able to get alongside of him there. Looking around the outside now. That's going to hurt him on corner exit. He's going to fall back a little bit. Nothing doing there. There's certain turns that the outside is not good. You're going to lose traction and you're just going to lose time. You see that right there, trying to go on the outside. A lot of times it's slicker out there on the outside of the track. But we know Hilson has the speed to reel him back in. Bowen's still holding strong, holding on to the lead. Now Wojcik is all by himself right now because John Snow pitted. So John is back on the track, currently shown in 10th place. Now the running order is going to be all messed up for the next several laps because a lot of guys have pitted, other guys haven't. You see Mike Doherty currently running in 5th, but we know that's because John, who was in front of him, pitted. Jesse Albert's still holding on to 6th, but he is quite a ways behind Doherty at this point. Not sure what happened to him. Maybe Doherty just, once he finally got past him, we missed that pass. Once Doherty finally got past him, he had better pace, so he was just able to pull away, I think. Yeah, he's 8 seconds behind Doherty, so Doherty, maybe a mistake. Here comes Albert down into the pits. So he's looking for the pits. Let's take a look at our leaders and see if any of these guys are going to pit this lap. Yeah, Hasbrock has pitted. So Hasbrock is in the pits right now. So everything's going to get all out of order right now. See the lap traffic in front of our leaders here. So that's going to put Hilson in 2nd, Wojcik in 3rd, Mike Bowen still in the lead. You see some lap traffic letting Bowen go. Good job by those guys. Oh no, you see a stop and go 30-second penalty for Evan Miller. No doubt for speeding in the pit lane. That's a heartbreaker. He was having a nice race. Tough break for Evan. See how he can recover from that. Alright, so Snow is up to 7th. Now we know none of this really matters right now because everybody's going to change positions. But even with having already pitted, he's being shown in 7th, which means he's going to be up in the front, so he's doing good still. Hasbrock is still ahead of Snow. Oh, you see Hasbrock off the track there. Runs wide. That's going to let John Snow get caught back up to him. That's a pretty big mistake by Hasbrock right there. Just maybe missed his braking point or locked up the front tires. Not sure. That's going to cost him time, so he's... Because right now he's trying to make laps while Bowen and Hilson are still out on the track. Let's take a look at where these guys are currently at. Yeah, Bowen and Hilson are getting closer. These guys are getting closer. Bowen just wants to get a clean in-lap and out-lap. That's all he needs right now. Just keep Hilson at bay a little bit longer, pit, get new tires, get back on the track. Try to stay ahead of Nick Hilson. You see Wojcik back there. He's going to come into view right there in the yellow McLaren. He's not that far back behind these guys. So we got to keep track of who is going to be where when these guys finally pit. Let's check back on that Hasbrock-Snow battle. For some reason, it's showing Capellan between these guys, but that is not the case. You have there it goes. It just fixed. Okay, so Snow closing in on Hasbrock through the slower part of the track here. See Hilson off the track back there. Runs wide. I don't know. I'm not sure where the track limit is on that part of the track. That was pretty wide. Mike Bowen still holding on to lead. Hilson. Okay, Bowen and Hilson are both going to pit. Okay, so this is going to be really interesting. So these guys are pitting together. That is going to give Mike Wojcik the lead of the race. So Wojcik stays out for another lap. See, Doherty's coming into pit. So Doherty comes in. Hasbrock and Snow, they're quite a ways away. So let's see what happens here. Snow all over Hasbrock. See Joe Marsiglia up in front of these guys right now. He is currently in 19th, so he's going to be getting the blue flag here pretty soon. So these guys are coming around. Mike Bowen's already on his way out. Hilson's coming out now. These guys are coming down the front stretch. So Bowen is going to maintain the lead. There's Bowen reassuming the lead. Hilson lost a little bit of time to him in the pits, and he comes out right alongside Hasbrock and John Snow. He's going to stay in front of Snow. He's side by side with Hasbrock, but he's going to have to give it up because of these long sweeping turns. So he's going to be behind Hasbrock, in front of Snow. He's being shown in second place, but that's not correct. So this has all got to get itself sorted out. And you see Hasbrock is all over Marsiglia. Marsiglia getting the blue flag, so he's letting Hasbrock go, coming into the turn there. Oh, and there's contact between these three guys, Marsiglia and Hilson and Snow. Not sure. Take a look on board with Snow here. You see Marsiglia was off the gas, letting Hasbrock go by. I think he was trying to let, it looked like he was trying to let Hilson go by too, but just ran out of track and had to go into the turn. I'm sure the stewards will be looking at that, but that is going to shake up the front a little bit. So Wojcik is still in the lead, but we know he has to pit, and he's coming into the pits right now. So Mike Bowen is going to reassume the lead. Technically, he pretty much always had the lead, but he's going to take the lead back. And because of the incident behind him, let's see how he's 6.4 seconds ahead of Hasbrock right now. So he's got a big lead over Hasbrock, and the guys behind him are now, it's still showing 0.3 seconds behind Hasbrock, but that is not correct. Because of that incident, they are much further behind Hasbrock. So you see Bowen coming around here. He's going to go take the lead. We're 17 laps, about to be 18 laps in the books out of 29. So we're in the second half of the race. There's 18 in the books. So Bowen, you see the lead there. That's Hasbrock back behind him. Excuse me. He's got a comfortable lead. 6.8 seconds right now on Hasbrock. Hasbrock did qualify top of the group, and fuel is slowly going to be going down towards qualifying trim because you know, as you get towards the end of the race, you've got less and less fuel. So we'll see if Hasbrock can find the speed to make up 6.8 seconds. It's a big task. And then Hilson is now 8.9 seconds behind Hasbrock, and Snow is 4.9 seconds behind him. And then Wojcik is 5.0 seconds behind Snow. So these guys are all spread out now. And then Doherty, something's wrong here because it's saying that Doherty is 1.3 seconds behind Wojcik, but Wojcik is nowhere to be seen. So something's not right about the time split on this. Oh, Doherty is ahead of Wojcik. So Doherty got around Wojcik somehow. There's Wojcik coming around the turn. Okay, so Wojcik must have made a mistake at some point to let Doherty get past him. That's going to put him in 6th. Then you got Capellan, who's got Chris Rise and Jesse Albert behind him. These guys are all close battle, especially Rise and Albert. And then Eric Alvarez is back behind these guys. He's currently holding on to 10th spot. And I'm not sure who that was behind Eric Alvarez. There's Andrew Cooper. He's got Stefan Buckley all over him right now. Stefan all the way up to 13th place at this point in the race. Okay, so let's just go through the order real quick. So Mike Bowen is comfortably in the lead. He's our leader. Hasbrock is 6.5. So Hasbrock's already taken it down 3/10. So he's trying to chunk away that lead. So Hasbrock in 2nd. Hilson in 3rd. He's already taken his lead down too. He's down to 8.3. So these guys are both gaining on the car in front. In other words, they're both going faster than the leader. So a lot of laps left, about 10 laps to go. We'll see what they're able to do with that amount of time. John Snow is in 4th. He's 6.6 seconds behind Hilson. To be honest, I can't remember what the split was between those guys. I thought it was 6.8. But I could be wrong about that. If so, he's made up a little bit of time on Hilson. Not 100% positive about that. Then you got Doherty, who's 6 seconds behind John. There's the gap. There's John, there's Doherty. So that's the gap between those guys. Behind Doherty, the next person is not the car you see back there. The next person is Wojcik. That's Wojcik there. He's almost 10 seconds behind Doherty. Then behind him is Alex Capellan in 7th. He's got Chris Rise. We're going to look at all 3 of these guys at once. That's Capellan, Chris Rise, and Jesse Albert in 7th, 8th, and 9th right there. Behind that is Eric Alvarez. Now Alvarez has Laurel Waddle behind him, but that is not for position. Waddle is being shown in, where is he? 18th. So that's not for position. Waddle is a couple laps down or a lap down or something. Let's see. After that, we got Andrew Cooper. We know he was in close proximity to Stefan Buckley. Still is. You see Stefan trying to get side by side there, but Cooper able to hold on to it for the time being. He's got his hands full with Stefan Buckley, though. Behind that is Louis Benora. There's Louis in the Audi. Behind him is Ken North. Ken currently in 15th. I think I missed it, but I think Ken got a drive-through for speeding in pit lane, but I might be incorrect about that. If I am incorrect, Ken, I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you out, but I watched the race live last night, and I just thought I remembered a drive-through penalty for Ken North. But Ken holding strong, he's in 15th. Then behind him is David Blythe. That is David in the Aston Martin. And behind him, is that Mike Bowen? Yes, that's Mike Bowen. That's our leader. So the leader has gotten all the way up to 16th. He's lapping the guy who's in 16th right now. So that shows how fast our front guys have been tonight, moving up through the field. Okay, so after David, we got Jamie Morrison. That's Jamie in the Lexus. Then after that, we got Scott Taylor in the Ferrari. As always, Scott loves the Ferrari, much like myself. He's always in the Ferrari. Got a nice looking paint job there. Let's see here. Marlowe is after that. He's a new guy. We don't really know much about him, but he's holding strong in the first race with us. Evan Miller, looks like he's had a little bit of trouble. He's got some damage on that Audi. Not sure what happened there. Maxwell Cerna is in the pits. Arciglia in the pits. Spigner is still on the track out here, but he's got some damage too. So some of the guys in the back are having a hard day, but that's typically how it goes with these big fields. You're going to have more chances for things to go wrong the more drivers you have on the track. So here's Bowen looking at some lap traffic. He's still comfortably in the lead. Hasbrock is now 7.1 seconds behind Bowen. So Hasbrock, let's see now, I'm trying to remember. I got terrible short-term memory loss, but I think Hasbrock had it down to 6 point something, so he's actually lost some time on our leader. While he's been losing time on the leader, okay, it just updated. Now it says 6.3, so I don't know what to believe, but Hasbrock 6.3, Hilson is 7.1 behind him. So you see Hasbrock back there. Pretty big gaps between all of these guys right now. John Snow is 9.1 seconds behind Hilson, so he's losing time to Nick Hilson. You see the gap there. If you look in the background, you could see John way back around that corner back there. So it's a pretty big gap between those guys. There's John Snow. So we're going to find some battles. We're going to look here. We've got Alex Capellan, Chris Rise, and Jesse Albert. These guys are almost the only position battle on the track right now. And even they're starting to spread out a little bit. So, we had a ton of action in the first half of this race. Everybody was bunched up, especially in the top 10. Really close racing, really intense battles going on. A lot of times that's what happens in the second half of the race. It all kind of sorts out and guys are spread out a little bit more. Especially at a longer track like this. So Capellan, I mean, considering how fast everybody is on the track tonight, I mean, the top 15, 18 spots have been really fast tonight. I would say anybody in the top 10 should be really, really satisfied with that showing to be able to finish top 10 in this group of cars. So currently Eric Alvarez is the cutoff for the top 10. And you see him back there behind Jesse Albert. You see Chris Rise darting back and forth, trying to be aggressive against Alex Capellan. But he's looking around the outside. That's not going to work. That's going to give Capellan the advantage coming through that slow right-hand turn. It's going to give Capellan a little bit of breathing room coming into these slow corners. Let's take a look on board with Rise for a minute here. He is in an Audi. He's got Jesse Albert right on his tail. Through these slow corners, he's lost some time to Capellan. See how bright the sun is. We always race in the afternoons. That's certainly not anything new. But certain tracks seem to really show the afternoon sun, the sun rays and all that a little more than others. Suzuka definitely shows it off. It's actually really pretty to look at. I don't know if it bothers these guys driving in it, but I'm the one who schedules the races, and I always schedule the races in the afternoon. I don't like how all public servers and everything are always at 12 noon. You know, it's just the boring, same old, middle of the day. Everything looks the same. like variation. That's why we have at least one night race every season. So, okay, so Chris Rise, and now we're going to jump on board with Jesse Albert. Jesse holding on to 9th place right now. He is 2.2 seconds ahead of Eric Alvarez. Okay, so this is the 4 closest cars on the track. I don't think there's any close battles going on anywhere else. Everybody's pretty spread out. Meanwhile, Hilson... Okay, so Hasbrock is up over 8 seconds behind Bowen. So Mike Bowen is actually pulling away at this point. Hasbrock has lost some of the pace that he had before. Either that or Bowen has gained some pace, and we're not really sure which one. But meanwhile, Hilson has got it down to 5.9 seconds. If you look in the background on some of these shots, you will see Hilson. Don't see him there. He's still pretty far behind. 5.9 seconds. There he is coming over the hill. So that's Hilson back there, and here's Hasbrock. Hasbrock trying to hold on to second. He's up to 8.4 seconds behind Mike Bowen. So Bowen comfortably in the lead. Mike Bowen has ran a fantastic race tonight. I don't think we ever saw him make a single mistake. Managed to not be the fastest car on the track through that whole first half of the race and still have the lead, just because he didn't make any mistakes. He's very, very consistent. And now it's paying off for him with a comfortable lead and 5 laps to go. So all he's got to do is bring it home. He doesn't have to do anything too fancy. Just keep it tight, keep it between the lines, bring the race home. And this is, I don't think he's ever raced with us on a points race. I'm pretty positive because I call all the points races. I don't remember ever talking about Mike Bowen. So I think this is his first points race with us. So first time driver, first time win. That's pretty impressive in a group this fast. So Bowen looking good. Hasbrock holding on to second. You see that looks like Ken North in front of Hasbrock. Ken North is currently in... Where is Ken? He's in 15th. So Hasbrock is about to lap 15th position right now. You see Hilson back there. He's got it down to 5.4, but he's only got 5 laps to make up over 5 seconds. I don't know about that. Meanwhile, John Snow has fallen back to 12.8 seconds off of Hilson. So John has slowed it down. Maybe because of traffic, not really sure, but he's fallen off of Hilson. Doesn't have quite the pace that he had earlier on, but he's still comfortably ahead of Mike Doherty. He's about 8 seconds ahead of Doherty. And Doherty is 5.6 seconds ahead of Wojcik. So everybody's kind of in a bring-it-home type of mentality right now. The only guy who's really hunting and making up a lot of time is Nick Hilson. He's got it down to 5.2, about 5.3. So he's slowly making up time on Hasbrock. Let's go back to these guys that we were watching before. Oh, Chris Rise has made his way past Alex Capellan. We're going to try to go back to that. I'm not sure how long we're going to have to go back to see that. Pretty far, apparently. Okay, there it was. Okay. So here's Capellan. He's had Rise all over him for a while now. See Rise looking, he's going to put himself on the outside, but he had enough of a run to get around Capellan. So did Albert, but Albert ends up wide off the track. He's going to give the position back to Capellan because he ended up a little bit out of control there. And Alvarez is going to reel all of these guys in as they're making battles with each other. Eric Alvarez right back in the hunt with all these guys. You see him playing a little bit of a game here with the slipstream. Follow the leader. Everybody flying down the front stretch. So Chris Rise has not been with us very long. He was here last season, but he hasn't been around long enough for us to really say what kind of driver he is, but he's in 7th place in what I would say is one of our fastest races as far as the top 10 that we've ever had. I don't know if we've ever had 10 drivers quite this fast before, but I don't know. Maybe I'm selling us short. We're a pretty fast league, but really fast race tonight. So to be in 7th right now in front of the guys he's in front of, that's pretty impressive. Uh-oh, something happened to Alvarez. Alvarez was right behind these guys. Now he's back. He made a mistake somewhere. So now it's a battle between 3. And behind Eric Alvarez, the next person is Andrew Cooper. And Andrew is 20 seconds behind Eric Alvarez, so there's no competition there. Not sure what happened to Stefan. Stefan Buckley was all over Andrew Cooper for the longest time, but he is now 15 seconds behind Cooper, so something happened there. Taking a look at the times here, just trying to see if there's anything going on anywhere else. Doesn't look like it, so we're going to head back to these 3 guys. So Chris Rise, Capellan gets a run going around the outside. Oh, but Capellan goes wide, way out into the off the track there. He's going to gain a position from it, but he's going to give it back to Rise because that's not how you want to gain a position. So good move by Capellan to give it back. Just missed his braking point, looked like there. Good sportsmanship by him, but that slowdown is going to put him under attack by Jesse Albert. Albert trying to look to the inside, but Capellan keeps good position. Whoa, you see Chris Rise get loose, loses the rear end of the car. Jesse Albert almost eats it, able to hold on to it. So now it's Capellan and, let's see, Capellan and Albert. Alvarez made up a little bit of time on these guys with all that commotion. Chris Rise, lucky to keep it out of the wall, didn't lose any further positions because Cooper was over 20 seconds behind this group, but he just went from 7th to 10th. So from 7th to 10th in one quick motion for Chris Rise. We were just bragging on him. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to put the jinx on you. Still in the top 10, something to be proud of for sure. So let's see what's going on in front of these guys. You see there, that is Jamie Morrison, who's in between these guys, but he's further back in the running. He's not in position battle with any of these guys. So here is Capellan, who is back up where he was earlier in 7th place, ahead of the guys that he's been battling this whole time. Meanwhile, Mike Wojcik has cut the lead to Doherty down to 4.3 seconds. Now we've only got about 3 laps to go. You see Wojcik there coming around, so he's just out of reach of Mike Doherty. I don't think he's going to have enough laps to really do anything with it. Doherty is a strong finisher, so it's going to be hard for him. Same thing for Hilson. Hasbrock is now only 4.6 seconds ahead of Hilson, but I think both of these guys are just going to run out of time. They're pretty much at the end of the race right now. Not much time. It's going to take a mistake from the guy in front for there to be a position change. Bowen's still at 8.1 seconds, so he's really comfortable out in front. Hilson's 4.6 behind Hasbrock. These guys have done a pretty good job of letting the leaders go all night. It's not easy to let leaders go when you're trying to run your race. And, you know, in this league we have guys of all different driving experiences. We've got guys who are really new to sim racing. We've got guys who've been sim racing for a long time, and they're kind of all thrown into the mix together. And we've done a good job of having everybody get along and be able to race together without many incidents. We did see that incident earlier between Hilson and Snow and Marsiglia, but that's a rare thing. It's a rare thing for it to happen in this league. We've been really fortunate. The guys all do a good job. As I'm saying it, somebody needs to let Hasbrock go. I think that is Benora? I think that's Benora. So he finally let him go. So Hasbrock, because he got caught behind Benora for a minute there, is now only 2.5 seconds ahead of Hilson. So that's going to hurt his chances. 2 laps to go. Hilson now desperately looking to get around Louis Benora. See Benora dart to the right there, lets Hilson go. Got about 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, behind this, Doherty and Wojcik are 3.4 seconds, so that battle is going to run out of time. There's just not enough time for Wojcik to catch Doherty unless Doherty makes a mistake. We'll keep a close eye on the time there. Meanwhile, Jesse Albert is up into 7th. He found his way around Alex Capellan somehow. We're not going to go back because it looks like it happened a little while ago. We've missed a few passes. There's so many things going on at once. We've missed a few things. But so Jesse Albert up into 7th in front of Capellan. Let's take a look back up towards the front. So with 1 lap to go, Hasbrock has got a 1.4 second lead on Hilson. Now Hilson is really fast, but so is Hasbrock. These guys are both really quick drivers. So it's going to take a mistake by Hasbrock for him to give up this position to Hilson. Meanwhile, we also have to keep track of our leader because we want to see him finish the race. So, oh, and Hilson gets a drive-through penalty for track limits on the last lap of the race. Oh my gosh, what a heartbreaking ordeal for Nick Hilson. We did see him a couple times end up off the track. We've seen everybody in some place. I don't know the track limits on this track, so I don't really want to comment on it. We've seen a lot of guys run wide, but when you see everybody run wide, that usually means that's within the track limits. Everybody's doing it because the game lets you do that there. So we've seen a lot of guys run wide in some of these turns, but I don't know where the penalties are happening, so I can't really say. But that's going to give Hasbrook second. All he's got to do is finish now. Speaking of finishing, here comes Mike Bowen down this high-speed left-hander one last time. That is Stefan Buckley ahead of him with quite a lot of damage on his car. Not sure what happened to Stefan. Remember, he was in a close position battle with Andrew Cooper, and then he just disappeared. So something happened to quite a bit of damage on his car. So here comes Mike Bowen to get the checkered flag. Great win by Mike Bowen. First race with us, first points race, starting the new season with a win. That's really impressive. And then here comes Hasbrock. Hasbrock made a couple of mistakes early. He cannot be upset about second place. He did really good to get second. Now here's Hilson in the pits doing his drive-through penalty on the last lap. And John Snow is coming around. Let's see if Hilson, who finishes where. Snow coming around. Hilson still in the pits. I'm not sure if they both finished, or I'm not sure how that went. We'll check it out. Okay, Snow's being shown ahead of him. So yeah, Snow finished ahead of Hilson because of that penalty. Doherty in 5th, Wojcik in 6th. Here comes these guys back here. It's showing Capellan. Okay, so there were some mistakes made here because Jesse was ahead of both of these guys. Now he's behind Capellan, and Eric Alvarez is ahead of both of them. So somehow Eric got ahead of both of these guys. He's going to finish in 7th place. Alex Capellan, well, no, we did see Capellan in 8th. So Capellan is back in 8th. Albert's going to get 9th. Chris Rise is going to round out the top 10. So that's a top 10 finish for him in the first race of the season. Behind that is going to be Andrew Cooper coming in 11th. Good race by Andrew. He was under attack for a lot of this race. He was really under pressure most of the race. And then Stefan Buckley, he's already in the pit. So I think that's our finishing order. I think everybody's done. So, okay. We're going to do what we always do, which is we're going to go back and watch the start of the race, and we are going to do it on board with, who should we watch? Let's see. Let's watch it from Jon Snow's position. So John is starting in 4th place, and we know how fast this top 5 was for the whole race, especially the first half of the race. So John's going to start in 4th on the outside of turn 1. He's behind Nick Hilson, who is outside of Hasbrock. There's the green flag. Good start by everybody. We're going to get to see that contact that happened in turn 1. Hasbrock and Hilson just came together. I don't know. I don't want to speak on it, but that didn't look like a mistake by either driver. It just looked like they ran out of room, both going for the same piece of track. That gave Mike Bowen the lead. You see Bowen in the lead, Hasbrock all over him, Hilson all over Hasbrock. We're with Jon Snow, who fell back to 5th. He's behind Wojcik. Wojcik a little bit loose through there, but able to keep the position. And it was just non-stop drama from this point until about almost 2/3 of the race. It was well past the halfway point of the race. Really good battles going on all over the racetrack. And then once everybody pitted, there were a couple incidents and some other things that spread everybody out. You see contact again between Hasbrock and Bowen ahead. We didn't see that the first time around. So Bowen holds on to the lead. Hasbrock fell into 3rd. We did see Hasbrock fall into 3rd, but we didn't know why it happened. That's why it happened right there. Some contact between those guys. So this is how it ended up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 champions and 3 really fast drivers, all really close proximity on the track right now. So, alright guys, well this has been a great start to the season. I hope you guys enjoy watching our races. I know that the guys put on a great show every season, and the racing just seems to get a little bit better every season, a little bit closer, and we're accumulating more and more fast drivers, so there's more and more competition up in the front. And a lot of our guys who were slow when we first started in Season 1 have become much faster over the seasons that have gone by. So it's going to be a really exciting season. It should be a lot of fun to watch. And you can expect a race every week sometime. I don't guarantee times because I have a really busy schedule, but it's usually sometime between Monday night and Tuesday night is when the race becomes available to watch. Usually HD doesn't happen until Tuesday night, maybe even Wednesday morning it'll finally be in HD. But that's what we've got. We've got 7 more races to go. We hope that you'll join us. We appreciate you joining us this week. If you've made it this far, you have probably been watching us for quite a while. Let me pull up real quick. I made the schedule. You would think I would know, but I don't even know where our next race is. Okay, race 2 is at Oulton Park, so that will be fun because out of 25 cars that are in this race, probably 23 of them hate Oulton Park. So Oulton Park is not everybody's favorite track, but I'm the guy who makes the schedule, and Alton Park is my favorite track in all of racing. So we are going to run Alton Park again this season. We ran it back in season 2, and we're going to do it again this season. So it's the kind of track that takes a lot of patience, and it throws everything at you. It has every kind of turn, every kind of braking zone, every kind of chicane that you could possibly imagine is on that track. It even has one really odd and out of place banked turn that you have to manage. Love Alton Park. So that'll be a really fun race for next week, and hopefully we'll get a few of our regular guys back next week and have even more cars on the track. So looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and we will see you next week.